I didn't spend thousands of dollars.
So because I would be crippled if I didn't, right?
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and I would be freaking crazy.
You would be.
Oh
or
yeah,
you
totally.
Are?
No, I would be.
Okay.
I mean, I might be a little bit crazy, but
Who's not?
I've matured a lot just because of the health things that I've done, right? And like, you know, my raw vegan, and I've got like 100 videos on YouTube of my raw vegan journey, right? But and like my alternative. Welcome to Mead Talk. Thank you everybody for showing up today for this special edition of Mead Talk. Now, before we begin, let's explain the rules here. Before you are able to enter the realm of Mead Talk, you must consume at least 3 glasses of mead. Why? Because everything is better with mead. That is what we believe here. That is what we do here. So we discuss all things. Even though they might be difficult sometimes, we discuss them because we believe this is a level playing field for everyone to come to the table and participate. Speaking of participation, there is a mic over there at the bar that Susan can gladly hand you. Just make sure you flip the switch on and you can partake in this conversation as you want. It's pretty exciting.
Partake.
Partake, yes.
Partake.
That is the word of the day, partake.
Not parlay, but partake.
Partake. So tonight we have a fantastic, awesome, wonderful friend and guest with us, Shane Kelly.
What's
and
up?
the former
Hey, Kelly.
owner of Interstellar Ginger Beer and Exploration Company. As most of you know it, the place where you can get the ginger beer that makes your pee glow, right?
Yeah, if you, we actually would give people black lights to test their pee in the bathroom.
That's pretty awesome.
That's why we went out of business.
FDA was like, wait, what's up?
Yeah, something's not right here.
No, like everybody would ask us about the glow in the dark beer and if it made their pee glow. It got weird.
Yeah, so Shane's an incredible individual. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about starting something in this industry, and then we'll get into some things that he's moved on to doing since the closing down of his ginger beer company, and we'll get into like some permaculture and some cool things like that.
Yeah, if there's time.
Yeah, and wherever the talk takes us, because it goes wild, it goes crazy.
Sure.
We go all different directions all the time. So first of all, you have a degree somewhere in the world, right? What is that degree?
I have a degree. I have a PhD in physiology and biophysics.
All right,
from
let
UAB.
me redo my introduction. Dr. Shane Kelly over here. Jeez, Lord Almighty.
Doctor.
Doctor. Yeah, I have been blessed with. I guess when I was a young man, I just wanted to do science. Science made most sense to me from like a spatial level, like just seeing stuff and like in basically all fields. When you're at that young, really kind of, it just seems like a spatial thing, space, just putting spaces together. And then when I eventually went to college, I did want to pursue a degree in biology, and I always wanted to have science in my life, so I decided to get a PhD in biology or microbiology. And eventually what that led to was that I had a huge disrespect for how science is actually done in these days. As you can see with all the vaccine nonsense as occurred.
Wait, so what do you mean by how is science done these days, and how do you disagree with it?
Well, it's
Y'all have a good night.
Thank y'all.
Here's what we want to see. Any scientist that can show us anything in that will get funding. Not even if they show it, but if their just title of their paper says it, but the actual data doesn't
it doesn't
support that.
doesn't coincide with
they
the title.
Will then they will get funding.
Yeah.
It's a game, and it's
more
not
of
a
like
good game.
a government subsidy or like subsidized government funding, basically, for all these different things that the government wants to see, right?
Yeah, there's an answer.
Or company wants to see.
Now, hang on. I was doing pure like basic science. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I was discovering new stuff, but here's the rub. There's other scientists out there in this field, right? I'm publishing in a field that my boss never published in ever, right? So now we're the new guys, like, busting in there saying some nonsense, right? They're like, oh, I don't know about that, whatever, and they don't like it. They don't like that there's a new cat on the corner, right? So they go, nah, we're not publishing your stuff, and you don't know who they are
because you don't have like the credibility because you haven't been there for a while.
No, well, if it's political, then yeah, but if it's who knows why? It could just be a pissing contest because they don't want you in that space, or they don't want the competition.
So there's a bunch of clicks.
There's a bunch of clicks in this space. It's basically just you got the old people in there that have the power, that are editors, or not even editors, but they're reviewers of these journals. And when they read stuff that they don't like, they will just say whatever nonsense it is and not publish your paper, not allow it to get through.
They'll call it misinformation.
They will say any stupid thing they can to get you. Right. Yes.
So you're telling me
exactly
there's a regulatory agency for
every journal,
published scientific papers?
Every journal has what they call reviewers, right?
That's freaking
nuts. The submitters of the paper, like me and my boss, do not know who is reviewing it. So we cannot go, "What's up, bro?" Like, why are you saying this nonsense?
So these papers that you submit, this is science, right? Science, we know it involves a theory. There's research.
It's a hypothesis, yeah.
Lots and lots of taxpayer dollars.
Yes. and after lots of testing, due to a hypothesis, you come to a conclusion.
Right.
And that conclusion is what you're writing about.
Yeah,
correct?
whether it supports your hypothesis or doesn't.
Right.
And basically,
so you can prove your hypothesis wrong.
Basically, your journal that you're trying to submit or your paper or whatever it is just a simple what did I do? What happened? This is what happened, basically. It's just an observation of what happened.
We're reporting on what we saw. Right.
Observed. And science is observation.
They're coming back with, nah, you're full of shit.
You didn't
this
see that.
Makes no sense.
You were you were high or something.
No. Here's the best that I heard. In parenthesis, the data looks too good.
Wow.
Insinuating that we faked it.
Yeah. That's what people with PhDs do. That's how they got through school, right?
Some do, actually. I lied. Those guys probably did, and that's why they're trying to cut their tracks now.
Those are the plastic surgeons and stuff like that, let's be honest.
Yeah, the doctors. Yeah. The guys that only want to cut stuff out of people. They're those are the guys that cheated on the test.
Right.
So you're under the impression that science just needs to be science, that we just need to be able to have the ability to observe and try things and figure things out, research and development, right, and say, hey, this worked, or hey, this didn't, let's try to replicate it. If it replicates, then maybe it's something, right?
Well, everybody says we need a fair playing field in any venture, right?
So yeah.
But that's not how it actually works.
So
if I knew that going into it, I wouldn't have wasted 15 years of my life.
So it sounds very political.
Yeah, and so I believe that the whole reason that there isn't a fair playing field in anything is because of a regulatory body somewhere, right? So like small business, we don't have a fair playing field with large corporations. The only reason that like Amazon, Walmart, and all these big companies have like monopolies, right, is because of government regulations, right? Because government regulations bring down competition against larger corporations that don't have to deal with the government regulations because they can get around it because all the tax codes and everything.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Walmart situation, to be honest, but I do know that local governments do tend to bend over backwards for Walmarts, et cetera, and it doesn't work. And for
Not
their
just local,
taxes
but
and stuff.
federally, state. I mean, every freaking regulating body out there tries to make it extremely difficult for anybody to do anything, right? And so now, I mean,
Oh, that is true, and you know this,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, and that's actually what we were going to talk about a little bit tonight. Is starting in this industry, starting something in this industry, because it's extremely difficult to do, especially in Alabama. Like, I don't know how your startup went and everything, but like ours here was, we had this building for a year before we could ever even sell a thing. We had to have it. And I'm
Yeah.
why? That's insane to me.
Yeah, we were renting our place for 9 months before we got open, I think. We're a little more streamlined where we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you took over that building, was there nothing there or?
Yeah, there was like a few shelves and things, but we just got rid of it and started building stuff.
Yeah, and your place was a little bit smaller, and then you had
We
that.
didn't have air conditioning
Really?
when we started. We didn't
Yeah.
have air conditioning or
Wow.
heat.
So
we
it was
had
just
heat.
like a
We didn't have
warehouse.
air conditioning. Yeah, it was a warehouse.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
so
so
you
I
got a
mean,
blank slate.
very streamlined and
Yeah.
just quick to get into. And
That's
all that.
cool.
Yeah. Also,
cool.
like at the time, we were the first brewery in Shelby County, right? So the Shelby
wow.
County regulators didn't really know what to do with us.
You were outside city limits?
No, we were not. We were in Alabaster, but Alabaster didn't know nothing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would say all their building inspectors, everything was just a joke.
Yeah.
Are we in Alabaster?
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the municipal building's right there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Be careful what you say. Some of them
Yeah.
might be in here. Well, dang. No. Yeah,
See a
no.
couple of looks over here. That,
by a joke, I mean very nice and cooperative with me.
Yeah.
hey,
No, they were.
It's possible Susan's like a secret agent for Alabaster. We don't know yet.
I might believe that. Or
She goes to Boston a lot. Boston. She might be going to municipalities. That's what she's doing.
She's over there making popcorn.
I think she might be undercover for the ABC,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, I had a
For the
story.
ATF.
I have a story about that. It's so weird.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had this little kid come in and he tried to buy beer from me. Not a little kid, he was a huge dude, right? But he was like 20. And I knew he was acting weird, so I thought he was like underage, but I wasn't going to ask him for an ID. He didn't ask for a beer, so I was just chilling. And I had other customers come up and get beers, whatever, and they went back to their table, and this guy just goes, look, he goes, I'm working for ABC, I'm underage. I don't want to get you in trouble, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to tell them that you didn't serve me. And I was like, yeah, well, I didn't serve you.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're going to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. But here's the weird part about it. He tried to get a job with me, and he, like a different time, he comes over in the warehouse when I'm like labeling beer, right? Because we used to distribute, so I was labeling beer. And this guy like comes over, the warehouse is open. He's like, yeah, man, I could use a job with you, man. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, are you still working with the ABC board? Because that would be a conflict of
Yeah.
interest.
Right.
And he's like, I will quit right now on the phone with you if you hire me. And I go, okay, sure.
Wow.
Go ahead. So he like calls someone allegedly and is like, yeah, man, I can't work for you no more, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, yeah. Like, but I highly suspected this kid as being like a weird agent or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was obvious, So I didn't give him any like key or nothing. Like I paid him like for like twice, like putting bottles into 4-packs, when I was there, And
Yeah, Nathan. All right, we'll see you, brother.
I mean.
yeah, so basically there was some shenanigans going on. I saw him at the bank like a year later. He was still working for the ABC board.
Yeah.
He told
Wow.
me that. Like he's got such a bad memory that he didn't realize that he told me he wasn't working for him.
Wow.
How weird is that?
Why is he
That's
still working for
interesting.
him, though, if he's legal at that time? And he may not have been legal.
Good question. I don't know.
Well, he
just did a
probably
quick
moved
math.
up to something else.
Yeah,
or
he
did
probably
something
did.
else.
I don't know why weird people do weird things.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird people out there, and none of them are in this bar right now.
Not at all.
Except for Ryan Stitz, that guy right there. He's
Okay.
right there. Look at
Yeah,
him.
maybe
He's wearing an
some of
orange
us
shirt.
up on stage are a
Yeah.
little
All right,
weird.
all right, Cayman Islands. Slow
Cayman
down.
Islands. Yeah, look out for that guy.
Oh, we just called him out twice right there. We got him.
He used to do trivia for me actually,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah?
he stopped. Yeah.
Oh man.
Why did he stop? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he spent too much time in Cayman Islands.
Yeah, it might probably.
One
That's
time,
probably what it was.
one of our customers that was there, his name's Daniel Demonia. He was an ex Vietnam vet, and he wanted to kill Stitch so bad about one of the trivia questions.
Really?
Yeah, dude, his like vein was throbbing in his head, and I was like, "This is gonna die tonight." And I talked him down. So your life, I saved your life.
He saved your life.
Yeah.
You owe him a trip.
Cheers.
That's only Dr. Pepper, though. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
I'm glad we saved your life.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been a great contribution to some of the flavors that we've got up there. Some of the mixes and stuff.
He's got a
hell
palate.
yeah.
Yeah,
he's got a
a
palate.
good palate.
Oh, he knows stuff.
He
Yeah.
does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got actually a few people in this room and that were here tonight. They were, mixing up some meads and stuff and making some cool shit. Like after, like right when we opened up, basically, that's the whole reason we have a whole section for mix-ups now is because they came in and they're like, let me try that with that. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, that and that, like half and half. And I was like, okay. And so I gave it to them. They're like, oh, my God, that's really good. I'm like, what the hell? We can mix up meads and that's good? Like, all right, we'll try it.
Now, don't get us wrong. You can mix up meads and they're bad.
Yes, there are some combinations that do not make any sense. Like, you're like, this is really good. This is really good. It sounds really good. You put it together and it tastes like gasoline. You're like, what the frick is that?
Don't understand it.
Super weird.
We've actually had jet fuel.
What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
So, well, but there's some combinations that you wouldn't think would be really, really good that are really good. Like, so Freedom and Blood Moon, right? So it's a blueberry, raspberry, vanilla with a blood orange. Taste almost like a Bloody Mary.
Whoa.
Yeah, like a tomato-like taste. It's
Yeah,
freaking weird.
that's really neat. I wouldn't expect that.
No, not at all. And I don't know why I tried it one day, but I tried it, and it was like, what in the world is this? Like, so now we have a Bloody Mary drink soon to be coming out because of that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's just like happy accidents, that tend to happen all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, happy birthday,
How does it look,
Stacia.
Stacia?
So do we look good on here?
Do we look good?
Am I in frame?
Awesome.
Not really. You can scoot a little closer. Oh, okay. Geez, she messing with us over here.
I'm just trying to see Rob.
And just so y'all know, there is a mic at the bar. So if you want to add anything or questions or anything like that, you can go grab that mic.
Yes.
And you
That's
can
what it's
be
for.
Yeah.
We
Doing that.
promote people interfering with our conversations.
Yes. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
We actually really want that to happen.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We really do. It's a lot of fun. But so here you are getting into the science field, go as far as getting your PhD. I mean, that is a lot of years of study and schooling and testing, and only to find out that you didn't like the science field. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
More
well,
or less. I mean,
you didn't like the way the science field was, but you still really love science.
Yeah, I mean, I still love science. Like, I learned a lot about how to, get it done and finding an answer, whatever answer you got. But and also it gave me a lot of leisure time, to be honest, because my boss was. I submitted papers to him, and I would just wait, hey man, like what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Like, man, it was weird. Like, in fact, I started a whole business. I was going to do a yeast business, and I found this guy with, like, a humongous warehouse out in Birmingham, and he had this tiny warehouse, like, tiny little building outside of it, and I renovated that into a yeast business the whole time. Like I was in grad school, like trying to figure out how to get out of grad school.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to
So-
sell yeast to breweries.
That's freaking
that was my
cool.
whole idea.
So is that what got you into brewing the ginger beer?
It did actually, because I screwed up with my calculation on how much tank, I would need for making yeast for breweries.
Yeah.
And once I realized that I would need like 100+ gallon tanks to make yeast for a standard batch of beer, for 30 barrels, which is a lot, as you know.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to make beer.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to make enough money to start a brewery. I'll just start one now.
So
Nice.
here's the question a lot of people probably will have, because it's not beer, it's not traditional beer, it's not IPAs, it's ginger beer. Why ginger beer?
Ginger beer happened because I was reading a book about brewing. I forget what it was called, but Matt probably knows it, but because he knows about this stuff. But it's like ancient, wild, and healing beers or something.
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's
Do you know about those?
that's actually where I got started in mead.
Whoa.
Yeah, 'cause that same book talks about mead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure it does.
That's
yeah.
wild.
That's probably why I read the Mead Maker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my second book that I read on mead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
Mead Maker.
because of that book, I tried a mead. I tried a ginger beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turned out really good. And I just. But what I did, which this is lore of the whole business, is I actually ordered a yeast strain. It's not even a yeast strain. It's a ginger beer plant.
We'll see you later,
Thank you,
brother.
buddy.
Marshall, nice to meet you, dude.
One of our soon-to-be guests is about to walk out, but he'll
That's
be
right.
on in a couple
yeah,
weeks.
I met that guy. He's a really good
Marshall,
guy.
solid guy.
Yeah.
man. Solid guy. Appreciate you,
Yeah.
brother.
Allegedly, we
I'm
don't
gonna
know if
grab a
he pays
drink.
all
Does
his
anybody need
bills,
anything?
but
Right, yeah.
Anybody need anything?
Yeah, banana.
You can bring me more of that. Immortal, but I'll probably die.
Well, you know
Yeah.
enough about physiology. You know how long you have.
So what I did was I ordered a ginger beer plant, which is like the original strain that they made ginger beer with back in the 1800s or whenever, like they were bringing sugarcane back from Haiti, etc.,
Yeah.
and bringing it back to England and all that, you
Right.
know. But they would bring ginger back too, right? So they would make ginger beer in England. That's where it really kind of kicked off. But then there was like a natural wild species of ginger beer plant, and there's one of the oldest examples of symbiosis, like an actual paper by a gentleman scientist, because that's all there was back then.
Right.
And he described the bacteria florum and the yeast florum in the ginger beer plant and how it was, made. And he actually deciphered which yeast species and which bacterium species were necessary for the cultivation or the fermentation of ginger beer. So this was the first ever explanation of symbiosis in the world, ginger beer. So that just, like, as a science nerd, just like tickled my little science bone.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
You had a first.
Yeah, well, that was the first, that I ever read of ginger beer,
Yeah.
like on science, yeah.
That's freaking cool.
Hey, I miss it.
I know,
Yeah.
me too.
Look, when we got all your kegs, we had those couple that were like half full, like that ginger colada,
Yeah,
man.
you had a few
Man,
We
that
ginger
sat
ginger
up
colada,
here.
Don't get me started.
We sat up here on tap, just like building shit and getting all this together,
Yep.
just drinking that ginger colada. Those were good times.
Yes.
Well,
It was very good times.
we could do it as wine too,
So
See-
that's what I want to talk to you about.
Yeah. So we need a collab.
There you go.
We need a collab.
Boom.
We need a collab.
Gotta-
we need to do a
you
ginger
gotta collab
mead.
with your friends.
And we've
Ginger
got
mead,
a pool
man.
just for you, Shane.
oh my goodness!
Remember,
Yeah.
I bought that
That's
pool at the last
last
kickoff.
day.
Yeah.
The
and
day the ginger beer died.
The day that but we're gonna bring it
Doesn't
back.
have to always
The
die.
day the
I'll
ginger
stay
beer
dead. We can bring
died.
it back like Superman
Yes.
several
Yes.
times.
And we're gonna call it Interstellar, and we'll have the pool for it.
Hell yeah.
I think it'd be awesome.
That's cool.
I think it'd be pretty dang sweet.
If
Yeah,
we,
so
if we could turn ginger
I actually
colada
fermented
into
it as
mead.
a wine before we ever did it as a ginger beer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the crossover? What's the difference?
It's just like you're
Different yeast, different.
you can use whatever yeast I guess you'd want. You know, it's just like it gives flavor though.
Right.
But it's like when the beer world is weird in when you're allowed to add your flavor to a malt beverage.
Okay.
So that would be after the fact,
Yeah,
after
wine-
fermentation, whereas
yeah.
wine is preloaded.
Well,
right?
you can do it whenever with mead.
Yeah.
So like you can do it before, after. You can do it both.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
can do it
So
in
that's
between
what
if
I
you
do
want.
with a lot of them.
You're
right?
allowed to do it in the front. You're allowed to
Yeah.
ferment juice, which is really the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with beer, you're not allowed to
Right.
ferment the juice.
So
Although
beer,
I was
you have the base. That
I
you
was
have
allowed
to
to ferment the ginger juice for whatever reason. They were fine with that. I don't know why.
It doesn't hold a lot of sugar. It's not really sugary.
I guess.
So it's more of like a mineral than it is a sugar.
I mean,
right?
I told you the story about how they wanted me to add 1 drop of rice what is it, like rice sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah. They wanted me to add 1
Really?
drop of rice sugar to
'Cause you
each
had to
batch
have a
that I
grain.
made because I had to have a grain. Like this
to
guy,
consider it beer.
this guy would not. I already had ginger beer recipes approved. Okay.
Right.
But then I go and try to get more ginger beer recipes approved, and they're not working. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like calling people. I'm like calling people at the TTB.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
TTB,
hey,
yeah.
Who do I got to talk to about this? I don't understand. I already got shit
And then they'll make you
approved.
go and change
Now
all your
I
other
don't
ones.
have stuff approved. Like, what's going on?
Yep.
And I finally get the genius on the other end of the phone. And he goes, hey, man, this is beer. You got to have a grain in it. And I go, okay. Well, how much?
Right.
And he goes, well, a drop would be fine.
Really?
Wow.
Really?
At
So
what point
Wow.
are you like, no, let me talk to Jim. We've been getting along, man. Let me just talk to him.
No,
okay?
I go, okay, 1 drop, I will do it. And guess what? Never
did.
Never, ever did it. Because how could they ever approve that?
Right.
Right.
Fucking drop of rice wine, rice whatever in there.
that's ridiculous.
Rice
Federal
sugar in there.
government is efficient. Okay.
They're extremely efficient. Yeah, I've had some very interesting conversations with the TTB, especially around labeling. Oh my gosh, the labeling process is so much fun. I don't know if you had any trouble with the labels and stuff like that, but with mead, man, they will not allow you to say mead on the label. You know, we can't even put our name, Ivy League Brew, on our label.
Well, I know about that because brew means beer, right?
Brew, yeah, they
Yeah.
think brew means beer. And I was like, well, what do you think the definition of brew is? And they're like, well, brew associates with beer. And I said, but what's the definition of brew? And they're like, well, it's beer. I'm like, that's not the definition of brew. I'm like, the definition of brew means to prepare, to make a tea. I mean, those are the
You brew stew,
definitions.
But
And
according to the federal government, you can't brew stew. I guess you prepare and cook stew. I don't know. According to them,
Which is the same thing.
it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you can brew many things. You brew kombucha, you brew wine, you brew tea, you brew beer. I mean, a brew is just a process of making something.
Culmination of ingredients.
That's all it means in the dictionary.
Witches make brews.
They
Yeah,
did.
Yeah. And I bet they weren't alcoholic all the time.
My
No.
wife's a witch, so she
dang.
probably brews some stuff.
She's got a spell on you, huh?
Out in the woods. She got a
Yeah.
spell on me.
Yeah.
And now
Oh, man.
I'm hers.
Getting down up here. We're going to have a karaoke
didn't know
night,
you had a
apparently.
voice.
We
Shane.
could, yeah. I
Hey,
can do a little bit. I
We
learned.
got
I
a
learned how to
guitar
do
back
that
there in the
over time.
office we can grab.
You got a karaoke machine?
Huh?
We've hooked up a little bit of
Right
karaoke
there,
up
yeah.
here.
We've done. We got our laptop. We can do
Yeah.
karaoke.
We have mics. We have that.
Yeah.
We have a TV that we can face over here and plug up the computer and
Oh,
do the
hell
words.
yeah.
We can go acapella too. Oh, bop,
Yeah, we can do
bop,
acapella.
bop,
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 bop, bop, bop, bop, bop.
boom, bop. Yep.
That was Tilly Carmen San Diego. That was awesome. I was trying to help, and I couldn't. I was just interfering.
So, all right. So, you know, you got through all that in the interstellar world. What happened? How was distribution for you?
Distribution was a mess.
Okay.
And here's the deal. The big distributors don't give a shit about your product because they
Yeah.
don't make money off your product.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they wanted to take me. I think it was like they just thought
You're
maybe
unique, maybe.
what? Yeah,
You're
unique.
unique. You're
Maybe
like
you would
a-
just take off without them doing any work, you know,
Right.
that kind of stuff. So they didn't do any work, and we made no sales. But we
Nice.
also had our people, me included, out there selling beer, and we tried, and we also on our own got ourselves into Publix. You
Right.
know,
That's awesome.
yeah, that would have been awesome if they didn't like sabotage it at any moment.
Really?
Either incompetence or malice, mostly incompetence. Okay, no one's trying to say that these guys are full of malice, don't want a little guy to work out, but we had several situations where different buyers were screwed. I went in public several times, and our beer wasn't. There was a slot for us. There's no beer there. Why? Why? When they
Yeah.
have several cases there in their distribution warehouse.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So nobody was actually, caring to get it out to the stores.
There's
and
not mine in
stuff.
the store.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Bud Light, Budweiser,
So
that's
on
what
that
they care
on
about.
that distribution aspect, for you, did you get paid when it's sold from the store, or did Publix buy it from you? And that's how
no,
you
no,
got
no.
paid?
The distributor pays you for it. They
For what's sold.
But
Yeah.
but
Okay.
the
no,
problem
no, not for what's sold. They
For what they
just
purchased.
buy.
they buy it for you at a set price.
But they buy
right?
it at you at a set price that's extremely
But the
low.
problem is they'll
Yes.
they'll buy it and they'll expect you to make a certain amount every month. So you're sitting here, preparing all that. Well, if they aren't doing the job on the front trying to get it actually out and sold, they're not going to buy it again because there's still stock there, and they're going to be
Right.
like, "Well, your stuff
It's not
doesn't
really
sell."
selling. Yeah.
But it's
Oh, yeah.
really them on the front end not putting it in front of people's eyes.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean the game
they
is
should.
the game is I don't make any beer that I don't have orders for, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not just gonna have a warehouse full of money, you know.
If you give them a lot of alcohol that you purchased product for to create, and they don't do anything with it, that's wasted money on your part.
Right. And look, I made really good relationships with people in their organization, and I would bring them a case of beer every year, you know?
Right.
But I would ask them every week or month, like, how much stock do you have? You know, where are the sales, data? you
Yeah.
know?
So did you ever get anybody to start calling the stores and be like, "Hey, I really want this in the store"? Why
But
is it
people
not
would
there?
call me,
Really?
and they'd be like, why can't I get this?
Do you tell them to call Publix? Do you tell them to call like the stores and say that?
No. What I'm saying, and this is more diabolical,
Yeah.
the owner of a convenience store would call me and go, why can't I get Starberry Sour
Really?
cases? I go, I don't know. I'm showing Budweiser as 30 cases. And so then I would have a whole thing. I'd have to call their representative that actually goes to the store every week, or every day, whatever. And I'd be like, dude, why aren't you getting this product to these people? Like, I'm doing the whole job for this massive corporation. Forgive me.
You're good. It happens.
And I got to figure this out, And then like we're talking about not malice, just incompetence, but we have had bars order our product and Budweiser coming back to them with like a case of Bud Light Lime or some bullshit and saying, oh yeah, we don't have that in stock.
No, you're good. Don't worry about that.
You can get it off your arm.
Yeah, that's for you. Okay, so yeah, that sucks, dude. That really freaking sucks.
Yeah, they're either the most incompetent or they're out for your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you ever pursue any other distribution avenues?
Yeah, we went through an independent guy for a second, but they were owned by a couple of guys from the Air Force, like
Yeah.
active Air Force. The deal is they both got shipped out, one to Canada,
Oh,
one
dang.
to Germany.
Wow.
They're still trying to run their company. It went to the shit.
Wow.
Yeah, because they weren't there, obviously.
Yeah.
And, who knows if that would even worked out anyway. You know what I mean?
So we could go a little bit further in depth with this. Obviously, we need to do some brewing together. Get a ginger mead out there.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun.
I think it'd be really cool. Which one would you want to do specifically, like, of your recipes? Which one would you want to see in a mead?
Well, I mean, in a mead, huh?
Or something
so what are
like-
you saying?
like it,
We
you
need
know?
to have some honey in it, or what?
Yeah. So we would do it like a mead, but it would be it'd have a very similar flavor to like your ginger beer, right? So, but the primary fermentable sugar would be honey.
Sure. Huh. Okay. So instead of using sugar, we use honey. Oh, that'd be really neat.
Yeah.
All right. So I think basically you just do a ginger lemon honey,
Ginger lemon
which
honey.
would be like first contact.
Yeah,
You gotta
first
start
contact.
basic, and then we
Yeah.
see where that goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would just go old school, OG,
Yeah.
first contact.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
awesome.
First honey.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
honey.
First honey.
Interstellar first honey.
So we'll have like
That's
an
right.
interstellar series, apparently.
Yeah.
And I bet, and I'm already predicting this, okay? We're going to mix first honey, interstellar first honey with morning dew, and we're going to call it the Shane Kelly.
Whoa.
Dang.
Whoa. Don't tease me. Don't tease me, Rob.
People are going to walk in and, hey, can I get a Shane Kelly? You can, but he's married. I'm sorry.
May I drink his nectar?
Oh, my goodness. Stacia, you are so cute. You are so cute, Stacia.
They
That's
should
a-
turn 22 today.
Yeah, that is a lovely crown.
You don't look a
In
day
dog
over
years.
75. Oh.
So, well, cool. That's really cool. So, yeah, we definitely need to do something together. So, now, as far as, after the whole interstellar thing, unfortunately, you close things down, which, I think you probably had a lot more time now that you've closed it down with you and your family and everything like that. But, I don't know. I'm assuming.
Everybody's got time when they don't have a job.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
I got
That's a-
all the honeydew list done.
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right.
That's good.
That's right.
Yeah. So what have you now? I know you're like working a regular job and everything like that, and we'll do a shout out to that here in a minute. But what are your interests in going like the direction that you want to go now, like with everything that you want to do?
Right. So a few things I'm interested in. One is construction.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I love construction too. Like I love building things. Right?
Yeah.
Love putting things together.
There's a lot of maths in construction. People don't realize that.
Yeah, there is rudimentary, math that pretty much anyone can learn, which is nice.
Yes.
Not just brainiacs,
But there is an artistic value to it when you get into like the fine finishing details and stuff like that.
See, that's where I like it. It's the finishing details, the things that you can do that people don't think A, that you can do, or B, don't think that it would look the way that it would look.
So I'm more of the rough carpenter, right? So like I just like slap shit up, put it together. Robert's more of the like.
I'm the finisher. I'm the finesser. It looks good when I get done.
Well,
with it.
it's good to know that you guys have those different,
Right.
traits and everything.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
the
That's a lot-
dynamic
that's a-
works
that's
really
a,
well.
That's a yin and a yang.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like once you throw it up, even if it doesn't look that great, let's just say, at the end of the day,
It's up.
you've done something.
It's up.
You know?
And it's visible, like
Yeah,
it's
it-
tangible, right? You can see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and it's functional. That's the part I like.
Yeah.
Things that are functional.
Those guys that made Stonehenge back in the day, like they
Man.
put those stones in there, and they're just like every afternoon they just like got a bunch of ale or something and just like looked at them.
I
And
bet
watch
they-
the sun shine through them at
And
particular
they had a
angles, right?
conversation,
Yeah.
and they were like,
Sure.
2,000 years from now, people are going to be like, what the fuck are these for?
And we're gonna be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
We just want to build a circle, man.
yeah,
It
man,
was
we
like,
just wanted, we
Build
just
a
wanted to stack
circle,
shit,
dude.
man.
Come on. That's what it's
just
for.
wanted people to think we couldn't do it. You know? It's
There he
aliens,
is.
man. We want people to think
He's
we were
saying
aliens.
that off the microphone. I'm just saying. Cayman Islands is talking off the microphone.
I mean,
So-
Kale and Alan's talking really loud.
So construction, and then what else?
Construction, agriculture.
Agriculture. So this is where we've had a lot of talks with the agriculture stuff. And I love what you're doing at your house. I love what you're doing with the little plot of land that you got back there. So how do the goats work? Do they work pretty well?
I think they. All right. What I think is I'm going to be pretty honest about this.
Yeah, I do.
I think if I want. All right. I'm going to be the nicest I can right now.
Honest but nice.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be the honest,
Okay.
the nicest.
Okay.
I think the goats helped if I had to clear land in the middle of spring, high spring, and
Yeah.
summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like it's so thick there, you can't get in there unless they're chewing up the lower stuff, right?
Gotcha.
Right. But my property was so unbelievably overrun by privet and Iliagnus,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Russian privet, whatever, that I'm not sure if I shouldn't have just waited to winter and just annihilated it all.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I mean, you bring like a mulcher in or something, just mulch all that stuff down,
Right.
and then you got really great dirt. The only problem with your place is it's kind of a
A hill.
hill, so
Yeah.
a mulcher, I'm not sure at what angle it can go on to get all that
It's
stuff.
like
but
kind
yeah,
of like pull it all out and then bring it all back.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Just, it's tough.
yeah. But you
But-
got a good. I mean, you got a good plot back there where you can do a lot, and we were talking about like doing blueberries and orchard type deal back there.
Sure, maybe some pawpaws.
Pawpaws, dude. My pawpaws finally going to produce pawpaws this next year.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is I planted it 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just a little tiny twig,
Yeah.
right? And I planted 2 of them, one in the backyard, but the one in the backyard is nowhere near the size of the one in the front yard because it doesn't get near as much sun. But pawpaws do genuinely okay. They just grow slower in the shade, right? And so, but this other pawpaw is right underneath a big, like 100-foot oak in my front yard, right? But it gets all the morning sun. And so this thing's gone from this little tiny thing, like little tiny twig that I used to forget not to chop down, right? I've hit it like once with my weed eater. And then from then I was like, okay, I got to put a stake here, so I don't hit it.
I ran over my blackberries with a lawnmower. All 3 of them.
Oh, yeah. They'll come
Yeah.
back. If
Yeah,
they're
no, they did.
Yeah.
But they would have been so much more
yeah,
amazing this
that
year.
sucks so bad.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I just totally forgot.
yeah.
Anyway,
That's why
I
I'm
know
like
what
for
you're
the
saying.
for the longest time I was like, nobody else can weed eat my lawn. Like nobody. It's got to be me because I know where everything's at. But now I'm just like, whatever.
I put out safety cones after that,
yeah,
so I wouldn't kill stuff.
that's awesome.
Do not cut unless flagged.
Yeah, I have like a little fig, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to kill that one.
So, so you're getting into agriculture. What type of agriculture are you getting into?
So, I guess what I'm getting into is really about soil fertility.
Yeah.
It's called soil health, I guess, and what I'm learning is to compost very well, and make sure you can get up to temp, etc., for however many days you have to, and then turn a few times so that everything gets to temperature, for the same amount of time, so it all breaks down and there's no like manure in there that's just gonna hide nitrogen, everything, and make your soil pretty much poop out after the nitrogen's used.
Right.
That's why, like, these what is it? These companies that are doing fertilizer. You know.
They're just pumping out. They're creating nitrogen fertilizer from oil.
Yeah.
Those are the companies you're talking about.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm getting at is like their plants are just on crack. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what happens when you pull the crack?
Right.
They die.
Yes.
You know.
Well, also, I mean, especially because it kills all the microbiology in the soil.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Matt knows about this stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like back in the 50s, it started becoming popular, right? Like early 50s, Kellogg was actually one of the first people to ever use pesticides on plants in like 51 or 1950, 51, right? Well, the pesticide that they used, coincidentally, the side effects of the pesticide that they used were neurological toxins, right? Nerve damage, extreme nerve damage. Shortly after that, polio came out, right? That's a whole other Mead Talk, but
That's a different Mead Talk.
yeah. But the coincidence is very, very it's very
Yes.
interesting.
Oh, I think something clicked there.
It's
yeah.
very, very interesting.
So yeah, let's just
It's not the only one that's coincidental like that, right?
subjects
Right.
on viruses is a whole
A whole other Mead Talk, yeah.
Yeah.
But so, but Kellogg was like one of the first leaders in the industry of like putting out artificial things on plants to keep bugs off, to fertilize and stuff like that, right? Because they were producing cereal grains and
Hey, Ryan.
and multitudes of different products, right? So
Can you hand this to Susan,
it
please?
was economical for them to get into it back in the day, you know, and so because they promised the world that it would do, you know, produce more food and all that bull crap. I believe that it produces. So, well, first of all, yes, yeah, I need a Mary Cherry. But yeah, so the problem with fertilizers, pesticides, fungicides, suicides, you know, all that crap. It's all, you know, extremely bad for the health of the soil. What tends to happen is the fertilizers kill off beneficial bacteria. The beneficial bacteria ward off things like nematodes and stuff like that, right? That like get roots and beetles and underground beetles and stuff like that, right? So, and then you have to put on pesticides and stuff, right? Because pesticides, they're in the ground and above. Well, that also kills off something else that leads to a weak immune system for the plant, or it stops the ability for the plant to uptake particular minerals. And so when you have that life cycle in the soil that's not being that's not creating particular minerals or nitrogen or all the nutrients for the plants, they have a weak immune system. So then they have funguses, right? They get funguses. Then you have to add fungicides to the list, right? And so like every one of these things is a subsequent basically.
If you kill the fungus in the soil, you're basically killing your soil.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Fungus
the
is
bacteria for that matter
huge.
too, right?
Yeah, bacteria, fungal matter, everything in the soil creates the health of the plant, the immune system of the plant, how it operates, and how it fends off different pests, right? And yeah, you're gonna have pests, especially in a monoculture situation. You basically come in and you take the wild, right? You have hundreds of different trees, thousands of different bushes and herbs and plants and vines and root crops and all these things naturally growing in forest. And they survive. They do just fine without us, right? And so the problem is we go in and we mow that all down, right? We mow it all down, have bare soil exposed to the sun. That top layer gets killed off really, really fast. Underneath it still stays somewhat okay, except a lot more dehydrated. that soil hardens up. Then we go through and we plant in it, right? And you're probably learning a lot about this, like soil regeneration, right? And but when you don't have that biomass on that top layer anymore, that absorbs moisture, covers the ground, right? And shades the ground even. Like under a tree, like if you step outside the shade of a tree, it can be 15 degrees hotter.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. So
In Alabama, it's 30 degrees hotter.
yeah.
At least.
Yeah, the sun's pretty intense down here. It gets pretty hot. But yeah, I mean, as soon as you step outside that shade, so just think about what that's doing to the ground. It's dehydrating it at extreme rates. Well, if you have a ground cover, something that covers the ground, it's not going to dehydrate, right? You're going to have that moisture layer, that moisture content still in the soil. And my soil at my house, you can just stick your finger and you won't even get to the first knuckle before you notice moisture. Even if the sun's hitting that top layer, because underneath, I've got ground cover, right? So I've got either leaves, wood chips, mulch, whatever it is over the top, always, because I naturally use that cycle of that deciduous cycle, right?
Plus, you never have to mow your lawn.
Yeah, plants dying, and yeah, I just weed eat every now and again, right? But yeah, my lawn's crazy, but I don't really have a lawn. But
No, his neighbors don't like it.
But yeah, so but agriculture, so monocrops, I think are really the demise of our civilization. So I know there's a lot. I've been ranting for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to cut you off.
I know.
You're
I'm sorry.
kind of hitting the limit.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Yeah,
bored.
this is my last one.
counting
I'm sorry.
Sheep in my head, so
Monocrops be bad. But
They are.
What I was all right, let me backtrack. So everything you said, totally agree with. What we're trying to do to assess soils and or make them better, though, is what I'm really concerned about. And that what I'm doing with that is composting, but also doing microscopy to learn what is good in the soil and what is bad.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So this is what I never understood. Look, I'm basic in this. This is what I never understood. Let's say they go and we got a cornfield. They get the corn. Great. What do we have? We have a bunch of stalks left, right? Why don't they ever set the fields on fire? You can control the fire. What is the fire going to do? It's going to create a lot of nutrients once that burns off.
Sort of.
Topsoil.
Yeah.
But you do have a
They actually
certain
do
amount of
that.
time.
No, they do that, but
Yeah, they
burning
do.
your field is actually not the best outcome
It's not.
because you're burning